Have you ever heard of a book that's more famous for being on shelves than being read? Yes, I'm talking about James Joyce's Ulysses, a book celebrated worldwide, yet, believe it or not, it's one of the least read masterpieces out there. James Latham, the editor of James Joyce Quarterly, once quipped that Ulysses might well be the world's most purchased and least read book. Now, isn't that something? It's like buying the most advanced smartphone and using it only to make calls. If you're wondering how true that is, let's look at the Hawking Index. This clever little number based on Kindle data estimates how much of a book people actually read. Ulysses, it scores a mere 1.7%. And to put that in perspective, Infinite Jest, another challenging read, scores 15%. And Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, a whopping 95.9%. So, why is Ulysses gathering more dust than accolades? Well, it's not just any book. It's known for its winding narrative, a style that can feel like a maze, and it's packed with references that could fill entire libraries. But don't let that scare you off. Today, I'll explain the 3 biggest mistakes readers make, leaving them lost in the labyrinth of Ulysses, and more importantly, how to navigate it with a smile. By the way, see that subscribe button? It might be a good time to use it. Now, let's jump into the first common stumble readers face with Ulysses. Imagine this. You're all set to start Joyce's epic, but then someone says, "Hey, shouldn't you read the Odyssey first? Or A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man?" It sounds reasonable. Well, not so fast. Here's the thing. The Odyssey by Homer and Joyce's own A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man connect to Ulysses. They're like distant cousins at a family reunion. If you've read them, sure, you'll spot some familiar faces and themes in Ulysses, but here's the kicker. It's not a must. Have you ever watched a movie sequel without seeing the first one? You can still enjoy the movie on its own, right? Same with Ulysses. Taking time for Homer's ancient world or Joyce's earlier novel first can actually hold you back. It's like training for a sprint, but deciding to run a marathon first. So if pre-reading these classics feels insurmountable, just skip it. Head straight to Ulysses, and trust me, Joyce's world is rich enough on its own. And who knows, you might be curious enough to explore those other books after you've completed Ulysses. Moving on to another common trap for Ulysses readers, the lure of endless side quests. Imagine you're walking through the best museum ever. Every exhibit calls for your attention and you only have a limited time to spend. That's like reading Ulysses. It's chock full of references and intricate details that might distract you from your goal to simply finish the book. James Joyce packed Ulysses with so many clever allusions and subtle points that it can be incredibly tempting to stop and research each one. But here's a friendly tip. If you try to decode every detail, chances are you might never turn that last page. So, what's the best approach? Keep it simple. Think of reading Ulysses like listening to orchestral music. You don't need to understand every note or chord to appreciate the melody. It's okay to let some of those intricate details play on in the background while you focus on the overall rhythm of the story. If something really grabs you, go ahead, but you can't apply the same effort to every tidbit you encounter. Don't feel pressured to become a Joyce scholar overnight. Embrace the bits and pieces you do understand and keep moving forward. Ulysses is a book that's often better appreciated in its full flow than getting caught up in every tiny whirlpool. Remember, your first pass through Ulysses doesn't have to be perfect. It's a book you can return to, and you might be surprised at what you discover on a second or a third read. Now, let's talk about the third common mistake when tackling Ulysses. Thinking of it as a mountain to climb. It's no secret that Ulysses is challenging, like the literary world's Everest. Remember that HI score of 1.7%? Yeah. Many readers strap on their metaphorical hiking boots and approach Ulysses like the supreme test of their literary prowess. But guess what? There's no finisher's medal waiting at the end. Instead of viewing it as a tough challenge to conquer, why not see it as a door to a new world? It's a chance to see the world through Joyce's unique lens, to walk the streets of early 20th century Dublin and to experience a day in the life of some truly memorable characters. Let's shift our mindset. Instead of bracing for a struggle, let's embrace Ulysses as an opportunity to explore, learn, and grow. After all, it's a book that invites us to see language, storytelling, and even the mundane aspects of daily life in a whole new manner. So, you're ready to tackle Ulysses, but want to avoid these common pitfalls. Great, let's talk about what you can do instead to make your reading experience enjoyable and rewarding. First, set a schedule. I'm not saying you need a detailed plan like NASA planning a space shuttle launch, but having a simple reading schedule can help. I suggest reading a certain number of pages or chapters each day or even week, and this way you're moving forward steadily without feeling overwhelmed. Next, let's tackle understanding the book. Here's a little secret. You don't have to get everything on the first read. Ulysses is dense, and it's okay if some parts don't make sense immediately. Think of it like watching a mystery movie. You might not catch all the clues the first time, but that's what makes rewatching, or in this case, rereading, valuable. And you can do that as many times as you want. And lastly, consider using a companion guide. Several people of questionable sanity have devoted much study to this book and compiled all the findings into one place. So don't work harder, work smarter. These guides can provide background information, explain references, and offer insights to enhance your reading experience. It's like having a friendly tour guide when visiting a new city. So, set a gentle reading schedule, don't stress about understanding everything, and bring a companion guide. With these tips, you'll be well on your way to not just reading Ulysses, but enjoying it too. So let's quickly recap what we've covered today about reading, or rather, how not to read James Joyce's Ulysses. First, don't feel pressured to read other works before cracking open the book. Just do it. Next, avoid getting too caught up in every detail and reference. You don't need to chase every rabbit down its hole. And remember, Ulysses isn't a mountain to climb for a medal. It's a process to be enjoyed, so keep a light heart and an open mind. And if you found today's video helpful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Your support helps bring more content like this to you. And here's a little sneak peek. In an upcoming video, I'll present a step-by-step guide on the right way to read Ulysses. Yes, you heard that right. I'll break it down into manageable steps, making it an enjoyable and enriching experience. So make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on. You won't want to miss it. And with that, thanks for watching. And until next time, keep reading and stay curious.